I would say manifestation truly is just the ability to harness your own personal energy, your own personal state of being, stepping into this higher self or higher level vibration of who you actually are meant to be, and not necessarily what society tells you you should be or what you should do, but just truly owning every single part of who you are authentically and seeing and accepting that with love.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. What's up, badass manifestors? I'm so excited because guess what? You've heard the competition. You watched it go down, some of you in the Facebook group, and I have a very special guest on our show today. We have Next Top Coach, the winner of Next Top Coach, Emelina Schmaltz. I'm so excited that she is here. If you don't know her, she helps women radically transform their mindsets to manifest money, freedom, confidence, and purpose. Her story is so inspiring, and her business has just taken a whole, she's just blown up in this manifestation field industry of helping people really understand the power that they have within themselves, really understanding that you have a unique ability to create your life the way that you want to. And we've talked about this, and she's going to be bringing some manifestation energy onto the show today. Welcome to the show, Emelina.
Thank you so much, Ash. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited too. So share with us a little bit about your journey, because I know that, being on Next Top Coach was a really big deal, because that's not something that you typically would have done in the past. And not only did you do it, you did it so well that you won. So will you just share a little bit about how you became who you are with your confidence and your energy from where you were?
Yes, this is one of my favorite things to talk about, because it really has been, for me, a complete life transformation. So I was the person who, first of all, was known as the shy and quiet girl. I would sit in the back of the class. I would never raise my hand. I would never speak out. I would sit in the back of the room for meetings. I was so unconfident and unsure of myself. I never truly trusted my own voice, and I never really knew who I was. I was the person who checked off all the boxes in what society tells us is going to make us happy and successful. So I graduated from university a couple of years ago with my Bachelor of Science, and I went into the corporate world. And that was what I thought would make me happy, would make me successful. My parents never had gone to university or graduated. They ended up working in retail, and I could see from them that it wasn't a place that truly made them happy. And so I had heard, to be successful, to be happy, to feel fulfilled in the work that you do, this is the path that you take. And so I did that. And I went into the corporate world basically right after I graduated from university. And I got there, and I remember the first day so vividly going, oh, this is it. This is what it's supposed to be. Because I was not fulfilled. It was in the dental administrative world, which kind of was where I fell into. It wasn't really necessarily a passion, but it was a job opportunity that presented. And I was in a position to, of course, go down that path. And I just remember sitting there day in and day out. I was in that corporate job for 4 years. And I just remember thinking, there has to be so much more to life than this. There cannot be all that life has to offer with me going to the same job every day, working 9, 10 hours, commuting 2 hours a day to a job that I'm unfulfilled in, where I'm helping somebody else build their dream and I'm never getting to live my own. And at that point, though, I was so stuck. I felt so lost. I felt so trapped. I knew that I didn't want to be at that job, but I truly did not know what else I could do with my life. I just had no clarity, no direction. And I really was just at this place of feeling so lost, of wanting more and knowing I could do more, but also being plagued by so much doubt, so much fear, so much lack in myself. And I just really felt like I was on this hamster wheel where I just kept going and repeating the same day over and over again for basically 4 years of my life. And at my lowest point, that is when I stumbled upon manifestation. And from that point on, my life has not even been anything close to what it used to be, which is the craziest thing to say. Because at that point, I truly learned how to actually step into my own voice and gained so much confidence in myself. At the same time, also gaining so much clarity on what I was actually here to do in this world, which again is something that I never thought I would ever have that clarity on. It was always a desire, but to actually have the clarity on who I was meant to be in this world and that my voice was something that was meant to be shared and the impact that I would be able to have, not only for others, but for myself, just getting to take back my own power. And that led me to becoming a manifestation coach. And it was the craziest ride and journey. I declared that I was going to be a manifestation coach after going through so much mindset work and energy work. And a few months later, I left my 9-to-5 job to step into my business full time. And it was kind of the craziest transition. And from that point, I really haven't looked back. And I've been able to, of course, join such amazing programs like QCA, which is the absolute reason that I have so much confidence in who I am as a coach. I would not be here today without going through QCA. And it's just such a blessing that this is the path that I've been able to create for myself and for my life. Not any place that I ever anticipated ending up, but it's absolutely perfect in every single way. And that's the place that we're at now today in this exact moment, which is just so beautiful.
You've attracted the way all the way here to this moment where not only do you get to live this life, but you also are helping other people tap into that for themselves.
Yes, which is the most fulfilling thing I could ever do.
It like brings me tears. Like it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. Wow. Your story is so inspiring. And I know that there's people listening that are super resonating with that journey. And I see myself in that journey of, going to a job that I hated every single day and not knowing what my thing was. What was I supposed to do? Like, that feeling of being so lost. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering in those moments for you, did you pray for the answer? Like, did you unconsciously ask the universe, like not being aware of it, for help or direction? Like, how did you communicate that to be able to call that in? Or do you think it just happened or you stumbled on that? No. You didn't just stumble on it.
No, no. I thought I did at the time before I really had the awareness. I thought it was just, this is interesting that this sort of information is popping up in front of me at this time. And of course I look back now and I know it was so divinely timed. It was literally exactly what I needed at that moment. And it was there waiting for me for the moment that I would actually be able to accept it and actually take that information in. I feel like if I had really found out about manifestation, maybe even a few months earlier, I might have seen it and gone, oh, like that looks interesting, but I probably wouldn't have actually invested myself, my time, my money, my resources, my energy into it. Whereas when it came to me in that moment of really feeling that low, I knew it was in such divine timing where I would actually be able to take this information and harness it and utilize it for my path forward. And I didn't know about manifestation. I feel like I had heard, little things about it here and there, but I never really knew about manifestation. I would say that I was always and still am very much a science brain. Again, I got my degree in science and in the field of zoology. And so I always had very much of a science brain. And there was this logical component to me that always thought like, I can't, like, there's nothing outside of me that can help me actually create the things that I want in my life. It has to be all solely dependent upon me. And the amazing thing about manifestation is there's a beautiful blending of that. You get to own your own power and truly step into taking the action that's inspiring to you, working on your own mindset, cultivating your energy, but also at the same time, knowing that you are always divinely guided and supported and that you get to be this beautiful co-creator of your life and your reality. And again, I know that the information and really finding manifestation was presented to me in such the divine timing that that was like the pivot of my life, like the pinnacle point of actually changing my journey.
Wow. And when you kind of learned about it right away, was it all like a download of like, this makes perfect sense? Yes. Okay. I get it. I get it. That's kind of what
Yes.
happened for me. I was like, oh my
Yes.
God, what?
Yes, absolutely. I was like, where has this like, where has this been? Where has this
Yeah.
been all of my life? And it made so much sense. Everything just resonated so deeply. And I felt like I was fully being understood for the first time in my life.
Wow. And did you look back on your life and be like, oh, okay, things make sense in a different way now?
Yes, 1,000%. I always felt when I was in that job that I was stuck and trapped in that and lost in that. And I look back now and I realize that I learned so many crucial lessons in that job to help me become the person I am today. And I wouldn't be at this level if I hadn't gone through all of the things that I'd experienced, especially when it came to being the quiet and shy person who was so afraid to share my voice. I had to truly experience that to know the power in finding my voice and what that actually allowed me to do. And I truly believe that it all, like all the things that we go through, are just those beautiful lessons that we really need to experience and learn from and grow from to get us where we want to go or where we are today.
Yeah, it's our soul's curriculum, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
So,
that.
so powerful. So, what would you say is your definition of manifestation? Like for people that are listening that are like, what really is it?
That's a great question. I would say manifestation truly is just the ability to harness your own personal energy, your own personal state of being, stepping into this higher self or higher level vibration of who you actually are meant to be, and not necessarily what society tells you you should be or what you should do, but just truly owning every single part of who you are authentically and seeing and accepting that with love, and being able to not only embody that and act that and live that, but also be able to share that with the world. And whatever that might look like, there's so many different things that you can manifest in this life, which is just the most incredible thing. Manifestation isn't just one path. You can use it to manifest more money, to manifest weight loss, friendships, relationships, businesses, like so many things you can use for manifestation. But I think it's just really being able to harness and utilize who you are authentically, stepping into your power, owning who you are, shining your light, and leaning into trust and support and guidance from a higher source that's here to also have a beautiful path in front of us. We just have to be willing to lean back a little bit, surrender to some of the things that we think we need to control, and know that there's a bigger reason for everything that we experience. And it's just kind of seeing that and accepting it with love.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Easy.
Big deal.
Easy. I love your definition. I think that's beautiful. And I kind of have like, I used to struggle with defining like, what is it? Like, what is manifestation? But I love that it's like being able to harness your energy, like you said, and create, right? And it's like like I loved also what you were saying about how it's a co-creative relationship with the universe. And so what do you think is like your part to play and the universe's part to play in
Mm.
manifesting your desires?
Great question. So I actually love to say that our own part is the what and the why. And so we
Yeah.
get to focus on what it is that we want, what our intention is, what our desire is, and why we want it. Like, what does it actually mean for us to have? How would your life or the lives of others benefit or up level or scale or grow when you have this thing in manifestation? What actually gets to happen because of it? And then the universe's job is like the when, the where, and the how. Like, we don't get to control when things happen or how things come to us, right? It's really allowing ourselves to know that when we take the action that's inspiring to us, when we allow ourselves to dive into our own internal world, focusing on what we want and why we want it is so powerful. And then surrendering to the when, the where, and the how, and like releasing some of that neediness of the control and the timing and the step-by-step process of exactly how it has to come to us, when it has to come to us, because
Yeah.
a huge part of that is just allowing some control to be lost or to be
So
shared, I should
true.
say.
what would you say is like the number one thing you think that gets in the way for people, like people that you work with? Like, do you feel like it's like the controlling of all of it, or is it something else? Or is it belief systems?
Belief systems are massive. They
Yeah.
are so, so key to truly changing our lives and to truly stepping into a place of being able to trust. Because I think for so many of us, we're taught or grown up in a society where we have to really be in control, or we have to try to grab hold of everything that we're doing and really have a hard time, at least this was my experience, having a really hard time letting go of certain parts or aspects of me that I felt like, how do I want to say this, that I had to control. And when we sort of dive into manifestation and really understanding that we get to have the power, we get to share that journey and really walk hand in hand with the universe, a big part of that is really stepping into new belief systems. It's about letting go or releasing of old belief systems that don't serve us, that we've been taught and raised by society, and then really building up new belief systems that actually support us in creating the life that we want. And so it's a part of control and releasing some of the societal programmings that we've been raised with and allowing them to shift and to build and create new beliefs that actually support us.
I'm so glad you said that because I believe that manifestation can be taught the opposite way, where it's like the belief systems, like I don't want to call them negative, but like the things that we aren't, the unsexy belief systems of like not being good enough, not being worthy enough, like you were saying, are not you really talked about. And it's more about believe that you deserve it and believe that you're good enough and like believe that it's already happened. But like you, sometimes we can't do that when there's that other belief that's blocking it.
Yes, absolutely. And a part of that too that I see so much in the manifestation world is this piece of, like you said, just believe you can do it, just believe that it's possible. And that's great. But again, if the belief systems ultimately underneath the surface are saying, well, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve it, or I'm not worthy, how can you truly get to that place of not only thinking that, but actually fully embodying it? And a huge part of that process is actually understanding our emotions and how they come into play.
Yes.
Huge thing. I know you've probably seen this all over the manifestation world too, is like the high vibes only, good vibes only, be happy all the time. And that is so far from the truth of what it actually takes to manifest a life that we love, the things that we desire. We have to live the human experience and experience all the emotions, see them all as valid, love and accept them for what they are, and actually use that as part of that healing process to build that new belief system.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
I used to be that person. I used to be that person all the time where I was like, oh, can't be negative, got to push it down. I don't want to say what I'm feeling right now because it's negative and I don't want to manifest negative things. That's very much the mindset of people, I think newbies
Yes.
in the manifestation world, because it's, you're like, oh, your thoughts create your reality, your words create your reality. So I don't want to say anything that's going to create a negative reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, think about it this way. If we're saying something like that we need to release, like we were just talking about, that we need to let go of, we're either letting it go and getting it out of our physical body and out of our energy, or we're holding on to it.
Yes.
It's like one or two options.
Yes, absolutely. So true. And if you're just putting on this face or pretending that, we're not feeling anything or we're not feeling a negative emotion, you're bypassing the opportunity to actually really let it be released. And when you can experience it fully, that's the place where we get to lean into really letting it go and letting that energy be transmitted and transmuted into something so much more powerful. But it all has to stem from being okay and knowing that it's so necessary to feel those negative things or be able to let them actually be present and experience them, like we said, with human experience.
Yes. So good. So good. What would you say is like the number one thing that you let go of in order to let it flow? Because I know that you manifested so much. So much. Like, when you manifested quitting your job fairly quickly to start your business. I know that's super inspiring for so many people. They just want to let go of their corporate job and be full-time in their business or their coaching business. Like, What did you have to let go of in order for that to manifest?
Good question. This was actually a really pivotal point in my journey. Um, a few reasons why. When I decided to leave my 9 to 5 job and I'd manifested this beautiful business, I had a few one-to-one clients at that time. At that point, it wasn't actually enough to fully sustain or replace my 9 to 5 income. And so many people were telling me, why are you leaving your safe and secure 9 to 5 job when you've just started this business a few months ago and maybe you don't have the full replacement of your income? And there was this part of me that I remember so vividly telling me every single day, leave this job. You trust yourself. You know that this is here for you. You know that this is possible for you. And I remember having a conversation with my husband, Jake, going, like, this is crazy. And he is truly my biggest cheerleader. He is truly the biggest support system that I've ever had in my life. And I'm so grateful for him. And he just told me, like, what have you been learning? What have you been practicing? What have you been embodying this whole time? Like, trust that voice, that intuitive voice that says, that you can do this and this is possible for you. Like, you've done so much simply by trusting this voice. This is another level. And it's okay. Like, if I'm feeling fear, because I was feeling fear, right? It's normal. And I decided to lean into that fear anyways. And that fear completely turned into fuel to propel me forward. And a few short months later, I had basically had 3 times the amount of income that I would have had in a month in my 9 to 5 job. The next month it increased by a couple thousand. The next month after that, I had over my first 10K month in my business. And it happened because I was allowing myself to release this piece that wasn't fully fulfilling me, my 9 to 5 job, and just fully own and trust that this was the path I was meant to be on. And it was a journey to get there. It was a lot of belief systems that I shed. And I talked about this actually really recently, but old identities as well that I had to shed of who I was, of playing small in my life, and actually stepping into a new identity of a powerful business owner who got to lead by her heart and help others do the same. And I think that was really the point where that was the biggest transition of change for me in my business.
Wow. I something really stands out to me is like, of course, like the support of your husband, I think is so important, and not everybody is lucky enough to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and before you got his like, feedback on it, you said something and you were like, I had to trust myself. Like I had to trust that everything that I was practicing and doing and learning was that I could do this. Like you believed that you could do it.
Yes.
You did.
Totally. And I had to believe it before I saw it, because
Right.
I never had the physical proof. I had no physical proof that it would ever scale or that things would happen. But I just so clearly remember that intuitive voice telling me that I had to trust it. It's all possible. I've done the things that I have always dreamed of and moved through. And this was just the next level. And it truly was listening to that intuitive voice that I had tuned out for so many years of my life. I had shut it down. I had told it to be quiet. I had said, no, this isn't right. And that was the place where I finally, over the course of quite a few months, had really tapped into that intuitive voice. And I had no choice. Like, it was every day that I wasn't giving my notice, that I wasn't saying I was leaving. And the day that I did it, it was just like this huge, big breath of air, knowing this is the right thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you quit your job before or after QCI? I can't remember. Or in the
Before.
middle?
Before. A couple months
right
before.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then the universe was like, okay, and you're going to invest in this program, and now we're going to give you more clients and more clients and more clients.
Mm-hmm. It was
That's how it works, you guys.
It does. That's how it works. Totally.
So here's a weird, not a weird question, but like a detailed question of like people that are listening they're like, okay, I want to do what Emelina did to manifest this. And maybe it's not leaving your job. Maybe it's starting your business. Maybe it's whatever it is. Yes, you did a lot of deep releasing work and you were always, investing in programs and like bettering yourself. But I was curious, like, what was your manifestation practice like? Were you journaling? Were you writing affirmations? Were you just meditating? Like, what was your like nitty gritty, like not nitty gritty is the wrong word, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. The details.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I absolutely love journaling. And that was one of the biggest practices that I got into when I first really started to tune into manifestation and learning practices, I feel like there's so much power in journaling. And another layer of that is scripting. And the way that I sort of see it with journaling is really just being able to express what I'm fully feeling, and what's fully coming up for me. And then at the same time, start to get to really bring in gratitude to that. Gratitude is such a massive part of manifestation and such a beautiful practice. And it's not just being grateful for the things that we want to call in, that's a huge part of it too. But being so grateful for everything that we have right now in this moment, especially the things that we tend to overlook or maybe don't fully see as important, everything that we have in this moment, no matter what situation you're in, just like when I was in that 9 to 5 job and I felt really stuck and lost, I still found so many beautiful things that I was able to be grateful for. And that was a really key pivotal point, I think, in starting to shift my mindset of opening up the possibility to welcome in even more, because I was in such a place of lack, of scarcity. There's not enough. I can't do enough. I'm not enough, to owning like I have a healthy body that supports me, that I get to wake up and, be fueled to do this for the day. And I get to have a mind that lets me think and that lets me really own my own voice. I have a voice that I get to speak. Like all of these things I started to really cultivate gratitude for. So gratitude practices, journaling were a really important part, meditation as well. And something that I really sort of encourage my clients to do, and this is something that I've really sort of stepped into recently, is finding practices that really work for you and your energy. Because I've worked with clients where journaling maybe doesn't feel as exciting for them, or they have more of a difficult time visualizing or scripting or writing those things out. And together we get to really come up with a practice that feels really right and inspiring to them, that they're excited to do. Because at one point I did sort of get into meditation and felt like it was something I had to do. If I wanted to be successful at manifesting, I had to meditate. And a part of me at the very beginning was so excited to meditate. And then it got into a place of I have to. And I tried to transition that into really the mindset of I get to do these things. And when I went from I have to I get to, that really opened up a lot of space for excitement, for gratitude, for impactiveness in the work that I was actually choosing to do.
I think it's so important to realize that we don't have to fit into like a box of, okay, like I used to look on Pinterest, like how to manifest and be like, write it down 555 times.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
In the present tense. And I'm like, really? Like that will hurt my hand.
Yeah.
So I love that you partner with your clients to figure out practices that work for them.
Yeah. I've seen that so much too, right? Everywhere, the right 555 times or 3 times, 6 times a day, 9 lines or whatever there is. There's so many different things. And I feel like it's cool that there's some strategies out there, but it really is about tuning into actually what works for you. Because if you're just writing something down 555 times because you've told that's what's going to make it work, that's not the energy behind the intention. And we have to be so focused on why we're actually doing these things. What's the intention behind it? And when we can start to shift the focus to that, that's a place of so much more impact than just a strategy that we, got to see. And I did the same thing too. So I totally know exactly what you mean.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember when I first discovered, when my mom showed me The Secret, I was like, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to practice this. I'm going to walk into that bar and they're going to buy me drinks. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this parking. Like I was practicing it with little things right away. Mm-hmm. And then I would do like weird journaling exercises like that. And I'd be like, this is not, like, it's fun for me to practice it with like little things, but it wasn't fun for me to sit down and journal it like and write it over and over and over again.
Yes.
But one thing I do that I'm sure you do as well with the scripting is I do write down like my future life.
Yes, me too.
You write that down?
Mm-hmm, me too. That's such a beautiful part of getting to step into that visualization of what we're actually calling in. Because a big part of that too is if we don't have clarity on what we want, how can we start to shift towards that or set an intention for it? So I'm the same way. I definitely journal out my future life and what I'm excited for and grateful for that I have. All of that.
In gratitude, like journaling in gratitude in advance for it is so powerful. I will look through old journals and I'll be like, okay, I don't know if I was writing this in the moment or if I was writing it in advance,
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Where you're kind of like, wait, did that already happen or was I manifesting that to happen? Because it did happen.
Yes.
So cool.
It is so cool. I look back on old journals and I can't tell you how many times I wrote down I'm so grateful for getting to leave my 9 to 5 job and manifesting a dream business. And this was months before I really ever took action to actually start my own business. And I look back, I have screenshots of them now of me describing exactly what happened. And it's just the most amazing and expansive feeling to get to read that back and go, like, I manifested it. This is what happened. I created this. And there's nothing like it.
And then to show your community and your clients, and you're like, look, if I could do this, you could do this.
Yes, absolutely.
You know?
I truly believe everybody can manifest a life that they love. And it's truly from the place of we're all mirrors, right? If it's possible for one person to do it, it is possible for everybody. If it's possible for me, it's possible for you. I mean, I look up so much to you and the beautiful business that you've created and your story and your journey that you shared with us, and go, if Ash can do it, I can do it too. And that was a huge motivating factor for me of getting to see more perspective and results and what's the word I'm looking for? Support that people have been able to do it. And when you get to really see that, it also helps you to really realize that they maybe came from a very similar place to you and they were able to achieve it. And it's so available for you too.
So beautifully said, because I had that for me too. You know what I mean? Where I would look at people and be like, okay, if they can do this, I can do this. And it's really like anchoring in that feeling and getting the support that you need to move through any blocks that come up around that, right? Which is what you do with your clients, you know, like moving through all of that so that they can really fully anchor into like this is possible for me.
Yes, absolutely.
And believe it.
Absolutely. I would not be here also without having support, without having mentors, without having people directly in my space that had done what I wanted to do. That was the examples that I was using. I wanted to surround myself with people who had been where I wanted to go and who had experienced that and could help guide and support me on that journey to get there. And I truly believe mentorship, having coaches, having people who've been in that space as support and guidance is such a key integral part to growth. And I know for myself, I will never be without a coach. I will never be without a mentor, because I just so fully believe that that is such a place of expansion to truly get to that next step, that next place, that next piece.
And I think that the people listening right now have heard that before, but like hear it like differently today. Hear it differently than you have before, because look, we are all guiding each other. And it's not like, oh, you have to make an investment in yourself or you're not going to be successful. That's not what we're saying at all. It's all about like, if you need support, you get support. That's it. Having support is priceless, literally.
Yes. So true. And I see it now too, so clearly in friendships.
Yes.
And that was something that I never had before. Supportive friends who really understood kind of where I was or who I was, and now really being in this space, especially going through QCA, it's such a beautiful community that you cultivate. And to actually know that there are women and people out in this space who truly want nothing but the best for you, who truly are like such supportive soul sisters that you get to talk. Yes, who truly care. There is nothing like that. And that's been a huge part for my journey as well, as having that soul sister group of friends. And that it can look like, I mean, that's not an investment. You get to cultivate that or create that. There's people out there who are so ready to get to support you. And it's really just allowing yourself to connect with those people and find them. So it's like you said, if you need support, it's just finding that support.
Yes. And I believe on that note that there is a coach for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, why are there so many different coaching certifications? Because there's a certification that's unique for that person that they need. Why are there so many different coaches? Because there's a unique coach that has the codes for you to help you unlock within yourself. So like finding that perfect person for you it could be the game changer in your life.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And it's fully just trusting it. I would say when you find it, you will feel it and you will know. And again, at least that's been my experience. And every single time that I've just trusted that voice, that intuitive hit, that intuitive feeling of this is right, and I've gone all in on it, that's been time and time and time again, the part for me of really changing my life.
So beautifully said. So I have to ask you, I think we've covered it, but what makes you a badass manifester?
Oh, Ooh, I love this question. Oh my goodness. I truly believe what makes me a badass manifester is the fact that I truly am allowing myself and giving myself permission to own my authentic voice, to step out of the shadows, to step into leading life with light and leadership and coming from a place of love where we get to own our power in our own unique way. We all have a different message to share. We all have a different perspective on life. And the day that you fully allow yourself and grant yourself permission to just own it and love it and step into that power and take personal responsibility for your life is the place where we truly get to like just be badass and make it all happen. And that's just something that resonates so deeply with me and what I would say makes me a badass manifester.
You are that. You're such a light. You're
Thank
such a
you.
light. Emelina has an amazing program that she'll share about, and she is just awesome on social, always putting out amazing inspiration. So follow her. Where can everyone connect with you and find your information and your program and all the things?
Yes, definitely. So usually the place I show up the most is on Instagram. You can find me there at emelina.schmaltz. And I am also on Facebook. I have a beautiful private Facebook community that's free for anybody to join who's interested in learning more about manifestation, owning your power, really owning your authentic voice. I also talk so much about money manifestation, really sort of gaining clarity on your purpose to really step into that life filled of freedom. So I have a link to my Facebook group. And then my new academy that recently launched is called the Magnetically Aligned Academy. And it is really such a beautiful blend of understanding manifestation on such a deeper level, doing the inner work, facing the shadows, really stepping into who you are, gaining that confidence and gaining clarity on your purpose. And we get to do all of that with also support. And this is a really cool sort of inspiration and blend to have support, have community, and do that work at the same time.
She's an amazing coach, an amazing space holder. If you didn't get to listen or watch Next Top Coach, go watch her in action. You can scope her out if you want before you hire.
You'll see exactly what you get.
You'll see amazing coaching and breakthroughs. So definitely go check her out. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate you more than you ever could know. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Bye. Have a great day. Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.